So I was excited to get this new version of the Batmobile from McFarlane. There are some strengths to it. There are a few weaknesses. Pretty good value for the price point, but definitely nice to get another two-seater Batmobile in the line, something we haven't had in quite a while. And of course, we haven't had the figures in quite a while on that scale, but you know, dating back quite a long time, there are not a lot of examples of great two-seater Batmobiles. So it's nice to see another one pop up here. Some cool things that this has, and I kind of wish the old one had as well. Like, I really like how it has the jetted fins at the back. I really wanted the old one to have fins, and I'm guessing for toy reason or for safety reasons, which were a lot bigger back in the 1980s, or a lot more in your face in the 1980s, and just because of the style of plastic they had to use would have been so hard and so inflexible. I'm guessing they just went with a simpler design. It also made it so they didn't have to create extra parts to install on the first Batmobile. But we really did miss those big sweeping fins, so we're finally able to get them on this version. The other thing that is kind of cool to point out is, you'll probably notice you can't hear it. And while, you know, most of us got the original Batmobile in 1984, it did have that cool for about 2 seconds feature where as the wheels would roll, you could hear the sound underneath. It would give it kind of an engine roaring sound. And that would drive most kids and parents nuts after about a couple hours. So exciting they didn't include anything like that here. They did include some things that, you know, pay homage to the original. So there's a battering ram in the front with a simple click of the head. You can see that. And there is kind of this cool jetted engine look in the back. So I can pop up Bat engines with the Bat insignia on them. And of course you can see, you know, my lights and my engines, and a little bit of a bat head there built, sort of sculpted into the back. A couple of them actually, one right there as well. So bat branding in full effect. When you look at the vehicle itself, and this might be a little bit difficult to see, but you can see, I'll pull these figures out just really, really quick. You can see the screens in here, particularly the driver's side and the passenger side screens. They are a modernized version, and the center console are a modernized version of what was in the original Superpowers Batmobile. You'll see I've added a couple of seat logos here for the back, just from an eBay seller that you've seen in some of my other reviews. I love to add that to my Batman vehicles where I can, give it that old school Super Friends look. But the figures, they fit very nicely, both old and new. I'm here using the McFarlane figures, the brand new ones. You know, again, would have loved it if this canopy sort of went fully over the figures. I don't know if I love this sort of old school, sort of big big bumpers on the front of the car, nor do I love the fact that the lights are just sort of painted on. You know, definitely I understand the price point gives you some value for, you know, what we currently have to pay. This normally seems like if you have to add a few more features, it would have added probably another $15 or $20 to the car, but would have been cool to see some sculpted lights here. And one other weird thing, I guess they were trying to go for more of a graphite look than anything else in the front, but you'll see there's sort of this gray bumper on the front, and the battering ram are both a different color than the rest of the car. And I wish that could have come out as just a standard black. Easy to fix, they're customizing those, so not a big deal. So I'm gonna try to put that down a little bit. And as you can see, I've got my McFarlane figures with different capes, because the McFarlane capes are just not very good. Using some Cape Master capes here. Let's just take a look at it compared to the original Batmobile. This has got, for those of you who aren't familiar, and most of you who watch my channel probably are, this is the original Batmobile, and in there are Superpowers figures. Those are RB Custom Superpowers figures. Those are some of the most detailed figures around. So trying to give you kind of just a good comparison here of how these two vehicles look side by side, even though the figures aren't going to look as much like the original because they've been sculpted so heavily. But pretty cool comparison between the two. They're almost the same size from nose to tip. And like I said, do a lot of things that are roughly very similar in nature. Do like overall that we're able to get a new Batmobile for the line, and love how you can make it fit both the old and the new figures. You know, you don't have the gear shift feature in the new one as well. Again, not a huge drawback, but just a few things like that would have been cool. And one of the things I'll probably do is make a couple of different decos of this over time. So you'll notice that this blue on the old Batmobile, it's a very, very hard color of blue to match. And You'll see in some other reviews, I've taken to using another blue for spray painting Bat vehicles, and probably the reason this is hard to match, it's got a lot of red in the color, and they just don't produce blues with that much red. It's almost got a purplish hue to it. And you saw based on the Batwing they produced earlier, McFarlane was having similar problems matching that color. It's just a really hard color blue to match. So I might try to get these to look more like a traditional ink blue more than this sort of purplish blue on another version. And then I'll probably try to do a matte black version. I see someone else in one of the community did that as well. It looks great. Love what they've done, and we'll probably add that to my collection as well. So you can order this directly off McFarlane's website. You can order it off of Amazon, and there are several other great online retailers that have it as well, Entertainment Earth. So please feel free to get yours if you don't have one now, and you can leave your comments, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks.